Hey, so we are going to start Unit 4, and we're going to be talking about systems of equations, and we're going to be graphing them. So a system of equations is when you have two or more, and they all use the same variables. For us, it'll almost always be x and y. And the solution is an ordered pair, which is the point, right? It's the point at which they cross. Okay, so it's the point at which two lines cross. We will talk about, there are three possibilities, but in the assignment that I give you today, they'll all have the one situation where they cross, okay? I'll show you all three things that can happen, but all of your answers today should be a point where two things cross. So if I'm looking at this one, it says I can graph a system of equations and find the solutions. And we're going to remember the solution is the point that they cross. So if you need to write that down again, write it down again. Okay, so with your pen or your pencil, you're going to find the spot. And then you need to label the ordered pair. So I'm going to go over 2 and down 2. Okay, so the solution to this system of equations is the point they cross. That is over 2, down 2. So it's an ordered pair. It has parentheses and it has a comma in between. So 2, negative 2. Okay. The point where lines intersect is the solution again. So I've got it over 1 up 2. So what is graphed? And so when we look at these, we need to be able to write an equation. So this goes back to our first or second unit. So I'm going to start with number 1 and you'll see it's labeled for you. I'm going to write a y equals equation. I can already see that my y-intercept is positive 4. And then to go to the next point, it looks like I go down 2 and over 1. So the first one has down 2 over 1. That's negative 2x. Okay, if Slope Dude was on here, he would be saying nice negative. Okay, for line 2, Slope Dude would be saying puff, puff, positive. Okay, so I'm going to start down here again at my y-intercept. I can see that it's negative 1. I go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Okay, so that is 3x minus 1. All right, so we just wrote these two and we thought about which ones are positive, which ones were negative. This was the bonus question, something similar on the quiz. So I want to just make sure that we understand that these both have an equal symbol. Okay, we just finished unit where we were shading. We shade when we have the inequality symbol, and we will come back to that. But equal symbol because they are just lines. All right, so here's where I tell you the three different things that could happen. But how do you solve by graphing? So I give you two equations, and you graph each line. So if it's in y-intercept form, that's our y equals mx plus b form. Okay. That's when you start at the y-intercept and then count the slope. Okay, you guys are getting really good at that part. If it's in standard form, remember that's this one, equals, I'm just going to write c, it equals a number. That's when we plug in 0 for x and find the intercept and 0 for y and find the intercept. That's this, finding the x and y intercepts. Okay, we've been practicing that too, especially with our word problems. So the three things that could happen is they're intersecting, which means one solution. Intersecting means cross. This is on today's homework. Okay, today's homework is all intersecting. Tomorrow, we will talk about the other two choices, which are parallel. There is no solution because parallel lines never cross. And then coinciding, that's a new word for us kind of. Coinciding means there are infinitely many solutions, and that means, and I'm going to use my pencil in two colors, my blue line and my green line, they lie right on top of each other. They are the same line. Okay, so again, these are tomorrow. So today's homework is only intersecting. So let's practice. Let's graph our system of equations. I can see already that this one, and using different colors might help. Oh, and I'm going to use blue to match the equation. This is in my mx plus b form, that one I like. Okay, so my y-intercept is 2, so I'm going to start at 2, and my slope is negative 2, so that means I go down 2 and right 1. So down 2, right 1. down 2, right 1, down 2. So I'm just going to make a bunch of dots. It's easier for me to graph these when I have my dots in here. And I did a really bad line. Let's try again, Mrs. Vogt. Okay, and you guys should use your line tool and do your best as well. Okay, now when I get to this red line, I don't have y by myself, so I need to make sure I divide everything by 2. So 3x minus 8. Okay, so I'm going to put a dot at -8 because that's my y-intercept. Then my slope is up 3, right 1. So I go up 3, right 1. Up 3, 2, 3, right 1. Oh, I can see where I drew my red and my blue together at the same point, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to try to draw my line as straight as possible. And I can see right here the solution. So the solution is where they cross at over 2, down 2. So that is my final answer. Over 2, down 2. It is a point. It has parentheses and a comma. Okay. You should start the next one and see how you do. This is our last example. You should hit pause and then restart and see if you get the same answer as me. So this blue one's in standard form, so I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Okay, when I do that, kind of goes away, right? Because 2 times 0 is 0. And to solve for y, I would divide by 3 and get 4. When I plug in 0 for y, this part goes away, it turns to 0, and I divide and I get 6. Okay, so I'm going to graph these. Over 0, up 4, over 6, up 0. Okay, and then you're going to use your straight line tool the best you can, like me. Okay, the next one is also in standard form. Okay, some of us might choose to subtract x from both sides. And you could totally do that, or you could make a table. Okay, so either way is acceptable. All right, let's see. Okay, this one's going to be tough to tell, especially if I didn't draw a straight line. Eek, I hope I did. Okay, so drawing straight lines is super important, and I did. I can see it. It's right here. Over 3, up 2. So my answer is 3, 2. Okay, these are today's notes. Your homework is Schoology assignment.